And then, Yolandi, you also touched on a very important topic around getting on top of, references and sources and the literature and the library and so on. And certainly when you're going into the proposal stage, from an academic perspective, you're trying to understand what is the existing research, what is the existing literature and work that's already been done. And look, there may be somebody that's already done the exact same study to solve the exact same problem that you thought was such a brilliant idea. Now, you just need to be careful and aware of whether that is the case or whether there's a nice gap in the literature. And I think, Yolandi, I was involved a little bit in just looking at some of the journals and, doing a little bit of research of, whether the topic that you were going into was going to make a significant contribution, not only in academia, but also, in the world around us. And that literature review and understanding those sources and navigating your way around the different academic databases is something perhaps that's not the most fun or enjoyable aspect of it, but just such a necessary skill and habit to develop that can be so fundamental to your success as a PhD student, and especially at the stage of your research proposal. Because I'm guessing, Yolandi, in your research proposal, you had to look at the literature, understand it a little bit, and then include almost a mini literature review in your initial proposal so that the institution could be comfortable that you were exploring a worthwhile gap in academic literature. And it was then good for them to support that, to take that forward, because there would be good publication opportunities, etc. So just to everybody that, Yolandi mentioned the course, I've put a link to the course on referencing with EndNote. Now, EndNote is a source library tool, effectively, so that as you're finding those studies and publications, you can house them somewhere that you can easily get access to them later. And if you set it up properly, when you're actually writing your research proposal or your final report, you can do what's called cite as you write. And as you're writing up your document, you can quickly go and navigate through your EndNote library inside Microsoft Word, search for that study or publication or document that you want to include and that you hopefully remembered at that time, click a few buttons, and then using your faculty's referencing style, it brings that citation into that paragraph and it adds it to the references at the end of the document. So all of that I teach you in the course there that you can get access to. And I loved what Meryl said about daydreaming to find the topic. And I said, good luck to you, Meryl. And look, we'll help you in the Facebook group, and you can also get in touch with Yolandi there. It's fantastic to daydream and think about these wonderful big problems that we can solve, but you have to root that back down in a very well-defined problem statement and a topic and all of those aspects to ultimately be successful in your PhD journal. And the way I like to think about it is, once you've gone through that PhD process, yes, you're making a daily contribution, but once you've got that doctorate and you've been endorsed to have become an expert in that, that's when you go back into the clouds, and that's when you can then tell your story and give your message out to the rest of the world. So when we talk to Dr. Yolandi Richards in 4 years' time, and she's got insights and unique contributions to make around her topic, that's again that opportunity to engage and share in a sort of a wider creative environment. I see Moswatsi is busy with a PhD radiography proposal, so good luck there to Moswatsi. And I wanted to ask a question now to you, Yolandi, and I'm just trying to find the question here, but it was about the oral defense. So did you have to do an oral presentation of your proposal, and can you just share your preparation and the tips and tricks in the process of doing that?
Yes, of course. Yes, we had a presentation. There's a panel at PICA, and it consists of industrial engineering. So I had to basically present my project proposal. So I had to write a proper Word document. I've submitted, and also the proposal. And then, but the focus more on the proposal for this point in time. And then they sort of worked through it before the time, and we presented. And a lot of focus was on the problem statement. A lot of focus is, do we know this is a unique problem? Can I prove it? And will I be able to put something uniquely in place and verify that it actually, and validate that it actually did solve the problem? So a lot of focus on that. Also a lot of focus on the bit of literature review to say, have I done some research? And that's bit where I made a note here. I did not make use of EndNote, and I struggled. Okay, so I picked up and I realized I only wrote a 10, 15 page document for project proposal. I'm not going to try to use the same approach for my end one. So that's why I have made a big note to get end notes sorted and also the referencing, because that took a lot of time. So I can just imagine going forward. Also, strange enough, Pete, I'm not sure if this is a course that you do offer. It's just some basic word skills again. I had to go and try to figure out some of the stuff again, of course, just to make it for yourself so much easier. Now, there's some key stuff, but we can chat about it a bit later, which I forgot. Now, I haven't written a proper Word document like this in a while. So I struggled a little bit there, but we can chat about that. But I think very important for that presentation the day was to also know what was the expectations and what was the criteria and what did I have to present. Because as Pete mentioned, you can very easily get lost. And I can see that happening very easily. You can get lost because you're sitting with this world of information, and it's very important to get that problem statement and your scope very clearly defined, and then stay within that. And if they tell you you've got 15 minutes, you've got 15 minutes. Okay? You need to stay within your 15 minutes and make sure that you cover the most critical components in that. So you need to be very well prepared. But again, I was lucky with Rianette to actually sit with her before the time, and she could share with me some of her learnings as well. So again, don't try to do this just on your own. Ask for advice and stay within what is requirement and the scope for that specific purpose. Yes, definitely.